We did see the Clippers use some of their space on Patrick Beverley. To me, that was kind of once they saw that Jimmy Butler wasn't coming and they didn't need that for him, they used some of that space. But both teams are now missing out on role players that if Kawhi doesn't pick them, they're going to need. Maybe if Kawhi does pick them, they're still going to need. Is the gamble still worth it for both teams as we head into approaching the 24th hour?
Absolutely. Because it's Kawhi Leonard. He's a Hall of Famer, two-time Finals MVP. He's the type of guy who will make a difference in your team. You have to wait for him. But especially for the Lakers, they're on a bit of a ledge right now because they have Anthony Davis, and that's terrific. And they've had a sensational offseason. There's no question about it. I don't want to lose that perspective. But if Kawhi goes to Toronto or the Clippers, they really functionally have missed probably their first 15 targets. There's still some guys out there, but
15 is a lot.
I might be saying low. You know, they did begin their process of at least adding somebody.
Right.
By adding the shooter who I've Troy Daniels today. It's been
you
a long,
and Woj. I listened to
Woj
podcast on the way into work, which he recorded at 3 in the morning with Ryan Russillo, and he was Just like, I don't even know who the Knicks signed. He's like,
I'm right there.
Someone
Bunch of power forwards.
Right.
But they are really the winner loser here. If they get him, guys, we're talking about potentially one of the most star-studded teams we've ever seen in the history of the league. They don't get him. I think they're a competitive team. I think they're a playoff team. I find it hard to believe that they can assemble a championship team.
What do you think of the cost here?
Yeah, I think, look, it's a big risk, but there's a big reward. And you have to be able to hold those two thoughts at the same time, right? You have to say to yourself, it's worth it to wait for him, even if I know if I don't get him, it is absolute disaster. But he's that caliber player. That's what Brian said. He's the number one free agent on the board at the start of free agency, above Durant because of Durant's injury. And so you have an opportunity to get this guy. The last thing you want to do is say, yeah, but I didn't want to miss out on Bogdanovich, right? Imagine if the Lakers had said that, hey, we could have had Kawhi Leonard, but I really didn't want to miss out on Patrick Beverley. That's just not the kind of risk that you can pass or what reward you can pass up. Having said that, Brian's right, 15 might be a very conservative number. And so we're talking about the best free agents left on the market are Danny Green, the Morris twins, Kelly Oubre, who's restricted, DeMarcus Cousins, Willie Cauley-Stein. I mean, again, not the kind of stuff that really gets you up out of bed in the morning and say, yeah, so you got him, right? But that's the risk that you have to take if you have a chance.
There is someone who gets out of bed in the morning and is excited about Willie Cauley-Stein, okay?
It's probably
you have to be like that.
Willie's agent?
His mother? Someone? There is someone, okay? Nick, where are you on this? Was there a point where you crossed where it's not worth it?
Yeah, that point passed about 12 hours ago, I think, when everybody else came off the board.
Okay.
That's the thing that would worry me, and it speaks to what B and Amin are both saying. If you're the Lakers and you miss now, I don't see where you add the pieces that put you in real title contention. I love the AD and LeBron pairing, but everybody else, you need pieces around them, and you've now missed on most of the rest of those pieces. So you've waited this long, you have to wait now, but if they go back in time and they don't get him, I think a lot of people are going to say, why didn't you try to land another star in that moment if you weren't sure when AD was passing up his $4 million and you were creating the space that you had a strong inclination that Kawhi would actually land there?
There's an argument to be made that you miss out on the free agents. Now you just divert your attention to the trade board, right? The Bradley Beals of the world. Goran Dragic, it seems like Miami's going to need someone to take Goran Dragic. If Kawhi announces, I'm staying in Toronto, if you're the Lakers, Goran Dragic on a 1 year for about $19 million, that's a pretty good concession prize because he's a good piece. Mm-hmm. You're doing you're not jeopardizing your future cap space here, and you get something going.
Waiting for the but.
But
I mean, they could only basically take one of those guys for free. Like the Heat have to call and say, "Hey,
we gotta get rid of this space.
Can you take Goran Dragic for free?" Yes, because they literally have nothing
to offer
to trade. Like even if Bradley Beal woke up and said, "I demand you trade me to the Los Angeles Lakers," they couldn't do it. They don't have the ability to do it.
We can give you a trade exception, and maybe Kyle Kuzma.
Here's what I will say about this. The Clippers, I think, have less risk because their upside is lower, right? I mean, they don't have as high an upside, so therefore they don't have, right? But with the Lakers, the only thing that would worry me if I was running that franchise is I think they spent the asset they had in LeBron James, and they did not maximize it last year, right? And yes, having LeBron James is better than not having LeBron James, but you had him, and then you didn't maximize him. And you had him the year that he turned 34, and he's only getting older from here. Now they have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. That's great, and it's much better than not having LeBron James and Anthony Davis, but you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Few teams ever have 2 top 5 players at once, ever. And if you miss out on the chance to maximize them, and again, I'm not saying that they shouldn't wait for Kawhi, it's just the risk. The risk is if you have missed out on the chance to maximize them, and they are not this year what they could be because you did not put the right pieces around them, because Kawhi left you hanging, and then you missed out on everyone else.
They probably believe, LeBron and Anthony probably believe that even with just the 2 of them, that they get him into the playoffs and that they could win.
Yeah, and they could be right.
But I think it's going to take some more than that, especially when a Western Conference that has gotten a lot stronger and deeper.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.